friends, and welcome back to my weird little corner of YouTube. I hope you guys are having a great week. I'm sorry this video is late. I was literally attacked by a flying cockroach last time I tried to film this. So we're not even gonna talk about that because it was so scary, and I film these videos in the garage. And also why I'm sweating is because I film these videos in the garage in South Florida, and palmetto bugs love to sneak in garages here. So that's what happened. I'm sorry this video is late, but we're here to talk about why you should never go hiking in a national forest in North America. So let's finally get into the video. I swear to God, if a cockroach comes at me, I will die. I originally heard this conspiracy theory on TikTok by a creator named The Aiden Mattis. I hope I said his name right. I'm sorry if I didn't, but it really got me thinking. So I decided to look more into it and make a video about it because I think you guys would enjoy this. Now, his TikTok talked about, oh my God, that's like a tongue twister. Hello? His TikTok talked about how there's over 1,200 unsolved missing persons cases in the US national parks. Might be including Canada in that one, not sure. He talked about how there was a book by David Paulides called The Missing 411 that goes into every single missing persons case that's happened in the US national parks. And they're all really kind of similar. They always go missing in a group of people, and it's always the person who's the last person in the group that no one's really like looking at or seeing. And they end up finding some portion of their clothing organized in such like a systematic way that it's almost impossible that like a bear ripped it off them and threw it on the ground. Like it's like folded up nicely, or the shoes are placed like someone just took it off. It's weird. So I started reading more about it and watching more of this guy's TikToks, and he talked about this thing called the Wendigo. Now, if you don't know what the Wendigo is, it's a Native American legend about this like weird humanoid type creature. I'm sorry if I get any facts wrong, but according to the legends that I read about, if someone is greedy or selfish, they can turn into a Wendigo, and they do this by getting these weird like cannibalistic like tendencies, and once they like taste human flesh, they'll like turn into this weird creature. And it looks, I'll put a picture of it on the screen, but it looks so, it kind of looks like Schmeagle a little bit, but like way bigger, and like has like razor sharp teeth. Like they're like skin and bones. They're kind of grayish in color. They have like their lips look like they're like ripped off. They have like razor sharp teeth, and they smell like the stench of death. Fun. But apparently they come out of nowhere. They live in solidarity in the forest, and they'll come out and eat people. I think their legend was trying to teach people about how to be selfless and not greedy and like nice to people, and don't be selfish because you'll turn into this like evil monster. But this guy on TikTok, his theory kind of got me thinking. He thought that the National Park Service might be a cover-up to hide the Wendigo. Now, back when Roosevelt was president, he established the National Park Service. It wasn't the National Park Service back then. It was like something, it was called something else. But it basically transformed into the National Park Service eventually. But he sectioned off portions of the country with very dense forest populations or mountainous areas, whatever you want to call them, as the national parks. And he established the National Park Service Rangers and all these things to go along with it. And you obviously can't cut people out of going into these random forest areas to go hiking, because people will get kind of suspicious, kind of like we're already suspicious of Area 51. Also, I want to go there because I would rather hang out with aliens than a cannibalistic creature in the forest. You know what I mean? But that's besides the point. He went on to say that the National Park Service is like a cover-up to hide the Wendigo, because like the Wendigos are real. Apparently a bunch of different Native American tribes have different versions of the Wendigo. There's like the Skinwalker and other names for it. I don't know all the names, I'm sorry. He goes into a lot more detail. You can check out his TikToks and learn more about it. Anyways, in his TikToks he was saying that since the government can't keep people from going there, they keep a specific area of the trails open to the public, and the park rangers kind of like stop you from going to certain places. But obviously there's people who go off the rails and go random places, and those are the people who generally end up getting lost because they say they don't know what they're doing or they got lost in the woods. But he had a lot of supporting facts, so I decided to do some more research on them. Apparently a lot of disappearances have happened in the Appalachian Mountains, which is connected by a whole string of like different cave systems. And we'll talk about the cave systems later, but people seem to think the Wendigos live in the cave systems and come out, grab their prey, go back to the caves, do their thing. You know what I mean? I saw a movie on YouTube called The Missing 411, which David Paulides is also a part of, the writer of the books. And he goes and investigates these different missing persons cases. And he interviews this guy who's a very experienced hunter who used to go hunting with some of his buddies in a very secluded portion of the woods. Okay? And this is at the very like top of a mountain, so like no one was ever around it, okay? And they built this whole campsite out there, and they built this like shelter out of these like logs. And one night they decided to film the craziness that happened when they were going to bed. So they all went, after a certain time, they would go into their shelter and they would hear these like weird noises outside, like where they were. And so they decided to call back. I'll put a clip of it right here, but it's really creepy. And they say the Wendigo tends to mimic people and tries to talk like it's a person, so you kind of feel more comfortable. I don't know about you, but after hearing that clip, I got like really weirded out because, well, it's a real audio clip. They even said they tested it and everything, and like it didn't sound like it was faked. So I don't know, creepy. There's so many different conspiracy theories out there as to why people actually go missing in the woods besides the Wendigo. The Wendigo just seems like a very good scenario as to why this happens, like some rabid creature. So I'm not ruling that one out. But there's two more that I want to talk about because they're both really cool. Number one, obviously you guys already know alien abductions are my thing. People think that they went missing in the forest because they were abducted by aliens. And I'm not going to rule aliens out ever because, well, I love aliens. And aliens, if you want to beam me up right now, that'd be awesome. Thank you. No? Okay. They're not beaming me up. But it's fine. It makes sense as to how aliens would just come, scoop somebody up. No one would know. You're in the middle of nowhere. But we already know that conspiracy theory. Come on, that's like the conspiracy theory for every other missing person's case. I was abducted by aliens. You know what I mean? But the one that's really interesting that I would love to talk more about, because I touched on it for a minute in my last video, my Bermuda Triangle.